All right, so the next topic I have is a topic I think we might have already talked about. I'm not too sure. Is our hometowns, because we have Tom Hawkins on the show, right? And you're from. What is your town called?
Have I told you before?
I don't think so.
It's called Snettisham. Can you say that? Is that all right?
Snettisham?
Snettisham, yeah.
Snettisham.
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 S-N. No, just Sne. I just have a weird voice. Sne. Snettisham.
Snettisham.
What the fuck?
Snettisham.
Snettisham.
Sne. Just Sne.
Snettisham.
Snettisham. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's 20 minutes of us going, Snettisham. Snettisham.
Snettisham?
Snettisham.
Let me write it down. Oh, don't delete all my notes. That is not a good idea.
Whoops.
Yeah, Jesus. I've had that feeling before.
That.
Snettisham.
Yeah, you'll say it.
Snettisham.
Why is you're not going shh? It's not shh. It's a
Snettisham.
Yeah.
Snettisham.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a problem with my S's and my T's.
What's
where
that?
A lot of my S's I'll do SH, and like a lot of my T's I won't like hit hard.
Okay.
Because whenever you've seen it before, where I'll introduce myself and be like, "Hi, my name's Barrett."
Yeah.
And you sort of hear the T at the end,
I
right?
suppose. Yeah, you have a soft T.
I have a soft T, but everybody's like Barry, and I'm like, no, Barrett.
It's that like shesham. That's just making no sense.
So what?
A soft T.
So from what I understand, it's a very, very tiny rural part of England.
2,500 people.
Okay,
That's small.
That's pretty small.
that's like twice as much of the people who are at Kind of Funny Live.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Correct, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And it's not. I mean, it's nice. It's quiet. I was watching some videos of me actually just at home, and I realised you can hear birds tweeting in the background the whole time. But obviously, you blank it out when you're there. But it was weird. It's like, oh yeah, that is what my home. It's like it's that rural. Nothing happens. The buses come every half an hour, 45 minutes, and then they stop at like 10:30.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here, if you listen to the background, all you can hear is, fuck off.
Exactly. That's very true.
Well, that's more Philly than anything.
Yeah.
Philly has more of like the hipsters who are telling each other to fuck off. Here, it's just like all the homeless people are throwing shit at each other.
Yeah, there's no actual noise from them. It's no distinguishable.
Cocaine. Yeah, that's really all you get.
About it.
So, what was it
dick
like?
from
Like,
meth.
because was your first trip here to San Francisco for TwitchCon last year?
Oh, it was
Or
for work, but TwitchCon was happening at the
happening.
same time.
So that was your first time in the city.
Yeah,
so
it
like,
was
what
last
was
September.
that? What was that sort of? I mean, culture shock, I guess, is like the best term I can think of right now. Like, what was like the cultural difference? Like, was it like, holy shit, this is too much, or?
Well, I think a lot of England is starting to become a bit Americanized.
Yeah.
We're
slowly taking over the world for the worst.
There's a lot of crossover, basically. Like some things are coming over here, a lot of your things are coming over there, and like
You having fun with the Trump news?
yeah, it's great fun. And but so like there's a lot of there's not, and you know everyone speaks English. There's that culture shock, and it seemed almost familiar in a way. It's just obviously this is a different city and it's very hilly and like so where I live is the flattest part of England as well.
That must be nice.
So you can see just forever,
Jesus.
wherever you can, as long as there's not a house in the way. Like if you go to a field, you can just see pretty much like until the end of the horizon. Like it's quite cool, but
It's like Holland.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Holland's really flat as well, and like I felt almost at home here, just like kind of straight away. It didn't feel too different. I spent a week here, and I was like, yeah, I could live here easily. Like I was staying in an Airbnb that time, so it was a bit more like homey as well because we were in a house.
And to be fair, like and that was last year, right?
Last like September, yeah.
Last September, and you were how old were you then?
22.
22.
Yeah, it was only 6 months ago.
Jesus, so you're only 23.
Yeah,
Jesus, you look so much older. Doesn't he? He looks a little older.
that's not a good thing.
Well,
Yeah,
no, like
bit.
in a very like sort of handsome. Like I feel I peg you for like 26.
Okay.
Like Tim's age from Kind of Funny. So, so you're like Alex O'Neill's age. That's
Yeah,
that's
I'm
weird
the
to think
same age as
about.
Alex
I'm
O'Neill.
still the oldest looking person here.
And you're the youngest. That's the weirdest part.
Yeah.
So you were 22. Like the first time I moved out here, like the first time I was here actually was, Jesus, I was like 10 years old, and that was before we moved. We vacationed here at one point before I moved out, and this was when we were living in Cleveland. And like I've been used to like being a tourist in places. So like being here for the first time, just like in a vacation sort of setting, that was totally fine for me. But like living here and like seeing how the people are and all of that was very much a culture shock because I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and it's very Cleveland is a weird thing where. I'm totally used to the fucking homeless people. We have a shit ton of homeless people. Don't know why.
It's because they're all getting kicked out of their houses.
That is true.
White people.
But it's so I'm sort of used to the shady parts of San Francisco because the entirety of Cleveland is sort of just shady. So that wasn't like that big of the big thing for me. It was like just seeing like. Moving out here and I'm in the minority of race and ethnicity. It was very like that was actually like a thing that I thought about for like a couple days where I was like, oh hey, I'm not like the majority here. And then I got over it, and that was like in fucking 8th grade 8 years ago or whatever. But so that was a bit of the thing. But like Cleveland, it's hard to describe Cleveland because people ask me like, what's Cleveland like? What is this place like? It's really. It's hard to explain. It really is. It's like there's nothing quite like it because it's sort of like this really shitty, tiny like city that's endearing at times, but it just never. It's never exciting.
Cities usually win sports.
Yeah, in Cleveland, we never win anything sports related. So it's like it's endearing at times, but it's a lot of just like. Trying to get through the fucking day of like I think Cleveland is almost like the epitome of like the working man in America, right? Of just like nothing really special about it, but it holds its own, and it gets through the day somehow. But it was like I've lived in sort of like more of city places before here. I've lived in very urban but suburban places. I lived in Olmsted Falls, which was like. Not down to like 2,500 people. You said,
yeah.
Olmsted Falls was probably a little more like 5,000, but I get an idea of like what that kind of life is like. Where a majority of us all know each other, and it was definitely like the weird thing of moving here. Of there are so many fucking people here, and that's hard to like just fucking wrap around your head at points, especially for. Me when I was moving here and I was still young undeveloped mind, it was a tough thing.
You sir are not ready for Mexico City.
Jesus Christ. So Henry, you're not originally from here, but you were raised here for the most part though. You're from
Austin,
Texas,
basically the southern version of San Francisco.
That's what I've heard.
We know a couple people from Austin that like it over there. Alex Aziz, like we mentioned earlier. Andy from Rooster Teeth lives over there.
Christian, the filming guy.
Christian Puente? I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna risk it.
Pixel Brave. Check out his videos. A lot of his recap videos for Kind of Funny Live too were fucking awesome. So
it's just great because if I was.
Do you remember Austin at all? Like when you're.
No.
Because you were very little when you guys.
I was very small.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because it's like Austin is like if I was anywhere else in Texas. Wouldn't have worked out. Like Austin is the only place for someone like me to survive in Texas.
Yeah, I can respect that. So what was that like for you when people because you sort of grew up seeing San Francisco change from like this, and I saw it a little bit. I had moved into San Francisco like right before it happened of like the sort of tech bubble that grew, and so what was. I mean, you were a kid, so you didn't really care about those kind of things. But like, what differences have you seen in San Francisco like throughout your life?
Well, I've seen like a lot of places like close down, like places that I just kind of always assumed would be there.
Yeah.
Like I remember when there was still an FAO Schwartz down near Union Square.
Okay.
And that was a long time ago.
Okay.
But just like all these places I used to go to as a kid are like gone now.
Yeah, and I started to see it like again, like I came in like right before these places all started closing down, and it was like San Francisco. To explain to you is the economy of San Francisco is very much built on like hole in the walls and mom and pop shops and mom and grop shops, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and it was when we started letting all of these big businesses in around the time when our mayor Ed Lee came into office. Really was he started letting in all these corporations in. For the longest time, people were fighting for Target to stay out. I was even surprised when I moved here that Best Buy was a thing here, and so like Target started coming in. Who fucking knows when eventually Walmart or other places start fucking coming in after? But I think it was around the time that Target had several locations in SF that we started seeing all of these places just fall apart.
Yeah.
And it's really upsetting because they're trying to appeal to not local San Franciscans anymore. It's more of like the people who are coming in from the tech bubble, people who lived in places like SoCal who are used to sort of the suburban like Target experience, or like the Midwest or the East Coast where they're used to sort of the same thing over again. So the city of San Francisco is trying to appeal more to them. So it's sort of sad to see that go away. And I didn't see a lot of it, but I saw it enough to appreciate like how fucking much the city has changed, and possibly for the worst. So just wanted to get your 2 cents on that.
Yep.
But what is it like growing up with 2,000 people?
Boring.
Yeah.
As a young person is where it sucks. I think so. It's got the highest retirement age in like England, the
Jesus.
area I live. Not just this town, but the whole area as a wider kind of span.
Okay.
And like, it's really there's because there's no funding for young people. There's nothing really going on. Like there is nothing to do. It's awful growing up as a child, but we're also noticing now. I've only just realised this in the past few weeks. We noticed there's a shortage of kids. Basically, like the schools are just shrinking because it's
There are a few nearby popular ones: St. James Elementary School, Catherine Michaels School, Anna Clevenger School.
Alexa,
Thomas.
stop.
We just wanted to go. Like,
That was so weird. Our tech guy Steven has one of those like Amazon Echo things, and I don't know how you treat. Yeah, it picks something up from.
I think I said local schools.
you usually have to say
That's
its
what it is.
name.
Yeah, you usually have to say. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to turn on again.
Like Seven did it as a prank.
I shouted him out, and now this is what he does. So yeah.
Anyway, so basically, shortage of kids. And
Okay.
all the schools are shrinking, and this means that I'll go closer.
Okay.
You're fine. I'll go closer. I just leant back a bit.
I know. You're too used to tea time with Tom Hawkins.
I know,
You have a
yeah.
microphone like down here.
No, you're confused by it, aren't you? Where my microphone is.
Do you have like a clip mic?
No, it is down there. But like you said, you were confused by it the other day.
Okay.
Anyway, maybe it was someone else.
I don't remember saying that. You're putting words in my mouth. Come on, stop it.
And yeah, so it sucks being a kid, and there's less kids because the house prices are rising, and no young people are moving there. So like, there's no scene for, nothing cool going on at all. Even people my age, like everyone my age is moving away to the nearby cities. So it really does suck. I've still got my small group of friends. Most of them are still there.
Yeah.
So there's about 7 or 8 of us that I've known for my entire life, for 22, 23 years. And we're still hanging out and doing stuff. But, it's not going to be too long before we all just disperse because it really sucks where we live. But, it could, if I eventually make it one day, I'll make a cool story. I came from this town of nothing.
Yeah.
And move here, which would be fun.
Now you would be a guy in San Francisco working for a big company like Kinda Funny or whatever.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day.
That's what we can hope. But those bits suck. But it's nice that I could leave. I could get my phone. I could put it on the park bench, and I could probably come back in like 6-7 hours, and it'd probably still be there.
Yeah, that's a weird like
Exactly.
fucking mentality.
I
I remember talking to you and Sean the night of our car got broken into. Nothing was stolen, but our car got broken into, and everybody that night was like, "Oh man, that sucks." And both Alyssa and I were like, "We've had it for 3 years, and it's fucking a miracle that it hasn't happened." Like we were due for getting it broken into, and Sean gave us this look like, "Oh my god, you poor people! Like this is how this is how people think in San Francisco." And it's like, yeah, that's sort of the realistic sort of thing you have to
Since
learn.
Our existence is just like when you watch Blade Runner, and it's like how it looks on the ground level.
Yeah, that's basically what San Francisco is like from day to day.
Yeah.
But I sort of know that because I lived in the suburbs for a while, and of course it's not as rural as fucking what's it called? What's
Snettisham.
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 I don't fucking care.
You can.
Henry's got it because Henry, you've been out of the country a couple times. Right?
Snettisham.
Snettisham.
Nailed it. You got it.
Snettisham.
Snettisham.
Yeah, there we go. Like not as small of a place as there,
Yeah.
but like I sort of appreciate like, you know, there's a core like 6, 7, 8 of us, and we all like knew each other really well, and we still keep in contact today. Even after I moved out of San Francisco, whenever I'm there, like we always hit each other up, and that's the weird thing of seeing the juxtaposition of that, and then moving into the city and seeing how friendships work in like a really big city where, you know, your core friends could be fucking at 3 different high schools, or like the amount of friends that you have could be like, oh yeah, I have like 40 or 50 friends, but they're not as personal as like you and I when we come from smaller places. And
The
whatnot.
Nutbuster Gang.
What?
That's my personal group of friends.
Oh my god. So like, of course, like I have my core, like my very core people, but that took a very long time to find, right?
Yeah.
Of Henry and Ricky, and those for the last year. That's been really the only 2 people that are consistent. Just
Everyone
because
else sucks.
everybody else sucks. No, it's really just I've been busy, so it's like
That is the thing with people living in cities, though, is that people do flick around a bit more, I think, and people tend to move to a city. So then you are making friends that you'll have only been friends with for a year or 2.
Yeah.
Like it's not as long as that.
It's
like,
more of a temporary
I've known-
friendship.
Yeah. And you know, I've known these guys for just a crazy amount of time.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about, you know, I'm sort of bringing this back to our first topic. It's kind of funny of, you know, the amount of friendships that I've made, and not every one of them will last, but there are some like with you and with Sean and Alex, and you know, I have yet to meet Roger Picorni in person, but like I've talked to him
He's
enough
awesome.
where like he is just a genuine fucking awesome person, and Fred is like one of my favorite people in the entire world, and it's cool to have this group that's from the city that I've lived in for a while and see them do that, where they're starting these sort of lifetime friendships, because you know we're getting into our years where the friends that we make are most likely going to be the friends that we keep for the rest of our lives. And it was cool. Like I had left the theater scene and I had not made any friends out of that because
Theater kids suck.
theater kids suck and theater adults suck. And it was sort of like I did not want to make any friends with those people in an industry that I sort of wanted to work for. And that was really upsetting. And it was really cool to come to this and, you know, be in an industry I really want to work with, and you know, becoming friends with people, not because of, oh, like, what can you do for me? Like, where can you get me? It's just like, no, like, I'm making friends because they're genuinely awesome people in this industry. So I sort of twisted that back into the first topic. But, you know.
Now twisted into the second topic, Johnny Depp.
So, that's the cool thing about cities, I guess, is like where you work, I guess, like really dictates of where your friendships are at. And I think, you know, I'm glad that I sort of found, like, we both sort of found this thing last year, right?
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we both sort of found it because we've met like a lot of really great people that, you know, I hope we know for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, sort of a last thought. So you obviously prefer the sort of city life.
Yeah,
At least for now. Who
yeah,
knows?
This is the thing.
Better than Snettisham.
Yeah, I can totally see myself retiring back there, just because it is nice. Like you can just go for a lovely walk, and you could do all those things are cool. But that's not
That's
how
not
I
what
wanna
you're
live
looking
my
for right
life.
now. Yeah.
I want to do it the other way around, where that's how I relax, not you know. So yeah,
that's not how you live life.
I do prefer city life day to day.
Stop picking it. Stop it. It's new. Stop picking it.
Seems like 2 weeks old now.
For context, Henry got a Charlie Brown tattoo, so just stop.
Be careful.
Rub whatever fucking
Rips it off.
Oh my
Apparently, you
god.
should slap it.
Oh, slap it?
Yeah.
Not just like a fucking like you're a heroin addict. Just do this.
Have you
I don't
ever
fucking
dealt with
know.
a heroin addict?
No, but I see him on TV enough that I know that they do this a lot, so I don't fucking know.
I don't-
So
Veins.
yeah, I could imagine myself. I know like Alyssa would never want to move to Ohio, but like, you know, after, you know, realistically age 70, when, you know, we're realistically going to be able to retire, like going back and just chilling in Ohio, because there's a lot of like suburban places over there that I really like, and I'm a very nostalgic person. It's very much like just how I am. So going back there for retirement, I imagine would probably be like something I would want to do. But right now, It's the city life. City life might be tiring, but it's fun.
For sure.
You're not in it as much, but it gets exhausting.
I get. No, I mean, I can get what you mean.
Yeah,
for sure.
After
gonna
this
be
week,
tiring.
but also you fucking traveled a shit ton, so you have to put that into account. So
I've been very tired all week. That's been my week.
you finally started like getting used to like the time change.
Not even. I don't think I have really, because every night I've gone to sleep at a weird time. And like this morning, I woke up mega early. I've been up.
I mean,
for
last
7 hours
night
already.
you went to a reasonable time because I went to sleep at like 12. You probably went to bed at like 12:30.
Yeah, but I had to wake up at 6.
Jesus
which really
Christ.
sucked. But it's good because it means I'll sleep on the plane, and then I'll wake up, and I should be. I think I've nailed it in that I will wake up perfectly and be straight back in. But I know that won't happen.
That's what you think.
That's what I think. But I know I've done it enough that I know it won't happen.